ultimate respect for. He talked about, why one of the reasons he ultimately, got out was he was like, look, man, I would come home and I'd have to turn the monster off. And then I'd go and I'd have to turn the monster back on. And it was just getting harder and harder to make that. But for you and your psychology, you still had years, you still were there with these guys doing this thing for years. So I imagine your monster, whatever it was for you, was that's where you were at. So do you feel like that, as far as whatever you want to call it, the PTSD, or like the psychological distress and torture that you went through, was that part of it? Do you think that it was like the proximity was taken, like the rug was pulled out from under you in a way? Or do you think you were going to go through that no matter what?
I think I was lucky in the sense that I had always compartmentalized my life, just for reasons of how I grew up, so I'd always compartmentalized things. So it didn't really affect me as much as I saw it affect others.
In ways did that serve you?
I also think, again, I'm being very forthcoming, I also think I just have a little sociopathic, I've watched like every murder documentary there is, and I'm fascinated by watching psychopaths. Just psychopathy is just fascinating to me. And I obviously very much have a conscience. And funny story, I was talking to my therapist years ago, and I was like, I'm worried I might be a sociopath, like, because I have these sociopath tendencies. And she goes, Tyler, if you're worried that you're a sociopath,
you're not.
You're definitely not a sociopath. And I was like, oh, can't argue with that one. I'm like, how did I miss that one? But I definitely have this little thing where, and I'll give you a story, and there's nothing. I'm going to tell you the story, and it's going to sound crazy, but it's not crazy, and that's why I'm telling it. We did this raid on this house, and anyways, fucking, I don't know, 13 guys were shot. I can't remember. And I had a digital camera, and I had to go take pictures of of all of them, all the guys, and run it through the intel system, blah, blah, blah. And I went to this one guy. He was in the kitchen, and he was shot, I don't know how many times, but at least 8. Not that I'm fucking counting holes, but he wasn't dead. And his head was, down, and I got down there to take the picture. And when I got down there, I realized he wasn't dead. And I just kind of watched him. And then I was like, oh shit, I think he's going to die. I think he's going to die right now. And I just sat there, and I just watched him. And I literally did it. It was an experiment. Like a human experiment. It had nothing to do with the military. I was just like, I want to see what does it do anything? And no, I didn't, just nothing. It didn't mean anything to me. And what I realized is that in my head, again, the little sociopathic quality is, once I put you in you're a piece of shit category, I don't care if your whole house and family burned down. That's just the way I am. Up until that, I'll be the greatest dude ever. Right. Like, I'll fucking die for you.
Right.
But once you are a piece of shit that affects, does damage to other people, you're fucking done.
But isn't that must be a necessity of fighting in a war, right? 100%. I mean, if you walk into every situation second guessing every single interaction you have while you're out in the field as a soldier, talk about your risk spectrum. You're pushing yourself way down the risk spectrum every single time, right?
Yeah, but you do see there's varying degrees of it. Like, some people can still do the job, but they still can have the awareness of kind of that human interaction. Like, oh, this is another human being. Whereas when like this guy, it wasn't that he wasn't a human being. I just didn't give a shit. Like, I knew he was a piece of shit. I knew what he was doing. He was a horrible person. And I'm like, I'm glad you're dying. Fuck you. Mm-hmm. it just didn't, but I didn't have, not only did I not have a sense of, oh, that's sad, but I also didn't have a sense of, all right, one for the team. There was nothing. I had absolutely no feeling towards it. And that was, it was kind of it was weird for me. And I just kind of realized, that's why later, these whole, when I watch Sociopaths, I'm like, okay, I definitely have that little quality to where I can just shut off any empathy whatsoever if I deem them as a.
But you have medical confirmation that you're not one, so you're good.
yeah. Well, technically, it's just an opinion.
Yeah. There you go.
They could get an expert to counter it, but
hey, has this country gotten any better at helping veterans with PTSD, or is it status quo?
That's a tough one. It's definitely gotten better. It's gotten better in the sense that the systems have gotten better. The problem that I see is again, so there's a guy who I'll mention, which you should talk to. He's fucking cool as shit. This guy, Marcus Capone, started this, what's it called? Okay, he's gonna kill me, but he's as big as Kevin. They're like the same size, but he started this thing where he basically, it's all alternative medicine. And he takes guys through this whole, ayahuasca, ibogaine, DMT. It's all legit, all this stuff. And I mean, it has changed so many people's lives. And where I'm going with this is the system will always be the system. For people to think that the VA is going to solve veteran trauma and veteran PTSD is like saying that the DMV does a good job of freaking, monitoring drivers,
Right.
No, it's going to come up to, or it's going to come down to us. Who has to figure it out? We do. Is it our responsibility? Well, yeah, it is. You can't say at the same time, I believe in less government, but then also go, hey, the VA should fix me.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And again, I'm not talking politics, but I'm saying, I'm not saying it should be up to us. What I'm saying is it is, because we're the ones who have experienced it. We're the ones who know intrinsically what it is by our own feeling and experience. And it's just like I told one of the VA psychologists this. I was like, you're telling me everything that you've read it to be, and I'm telling you what it is. But because you have the degree, you're right and I'm wrong. Right. That makes no sense. Like listen to me. Like I want help. I'm trying to help you help me, but you're fighting me on it. And so I think it's up to us. And I think the system has gotten better, but ultimately, the ultimate way, like this thing that Marcus Capone is doing, is it's fringe. It's out there. 10 years, it won't be out there. It'll be normal.
But those options at least exist now.
They exist now, and they exist because some veteran tried them, or and Marcus has really been spearheading it. But there's this brainwave treatment. There's all kinds of these things. And here's the worst part: all of them right now are the brainwave thing. Marcus's thing. Marcus is a former Deb Group guy. It's the amount of time it will take for those things to trickle down to a system like the VA. Yeah. It's the government. It's a bureaucracy. It's a behemoth, and that's why I say I think it's up to us to take care of our own, because it's just the system will never, by definition of what it is. I mean, I was a very lonely kid. I had fucking imaginary friends, I was a very lonely kid, and opening up my feelings got me hurt. So I just shut them off as a kid. And that was my childhood, and that was safe for me. So that made the military really easy, because I already shut off my feelings, and I think a lot of guys, maybe if they didn't shut them off when they were a kid, once they start deploying, they shut them off. And then that, again, PTSD is when they've been out long enough and the feelings get turned back on, And now there's a backlog of emotion that just comes flooding in, and it doesn't, I mean, emotion by definition doesn't make sense. It's not logical. So it's like, how do you logically process something that's not logical? You don't. You just feel it.
I guess one of the things too that I just like also like knowing about you, and then since the documentary, because like you said, like it's just so much has changed since then, obviously, you know, and so much your life has changed. It seems like your personality is like so geared towards you driving yourself, but you also, from like your work in the military, and now like what you're doing, you're such a team-oriented person. Like you're so good at like inspiring people, helping people, building people up, understanding what people need to hear, what they don't need to hear. You know, the only way to like deal with like deep psychological blocks or problems or PTSD, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is like you can't do that alone. Like you have to go to other people. So it's like those two things were kind of like playing against each other. Would you say that's right?
100%. I only did the documentary because Rick was, you know, asked me, and I said, yeah. And then
I imagine you were hesitant.
No, I really wasn't. I wasn't, because it was just me talking on camera about myself, which I'm doing right now. I don't give a shit. I'll tell you about the fucking me as a kid at camp. I shit my fucking pants. I don't care.
I did too,
like,
bro.
It happened. Horrible day. But I don't care. You know, it doesn't. I don't judge myself on anything I've done or been. And
it's the camp diet, man. That's what you just judge the camp diet.
Yeah. It was a bad one too. But you know, so I didn't have a problem talking on camera. It was when it became something, and I've only ever watched it once, and Rick fucking forced me to. I drank an entire bottle of wine, and I don't really drink a lot of alcohol, and watched it. And then when I had to like go and talk about it with audiences and get asked questions, that's when I got uncomfortable, because I don't take compliments well. You said some very nice things. I disagree with most of them. But, no, and I'm joking, but I don't take compliments well, because that instinct to push myself, I only want to hear what I'm doing wrong.
It's the only way to help.
You know what I mean? Tell me what I'm doing wrong.
100%.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Does nothing for you. Yeah.
And so it was very hard to hear people connecting with me, because again, I shut off my feelings. So a person connecting through my life was like really uncomfortable for me. And so it was a very strange realization of, oh, I